The winner of the Euro will be a kneeling team. I believe it's going to be an all-kneeler Euro final. The process of elimination is very clear. The British Isles have taken the knee. Ireland was jeered against Hungary when they took the knee. England took the knee. They have been heavily booed and jeered by the fans for kneeing for an act that was taken 1,000 years, 1,000 miles away. Belgium was the only non-British team to announce that they are going to take the knee throughout Euro 2020. There is a very clear narrative for the Jesuit Romelu Lukaku, the Freemasonic Catholic, who accepts diversity and inclusion and equal rights and social justice for anybody regardless of race, of sexuality, or faith. He said, "I don't care. I fight for diversity." This symbolism here is going to support unity. Every player on the pitch will take a knee in the Euro final. This means it's Belgium and England. Hungary's a right-wing country who hasn't taken the knee. Croatia didn't take the knee. Italy is not a politically correct nation. Italy is not taking the knee at all. Instead, choosing to stand against racism. Denmark did not take the knee. Finland didn't. Russia didn't. Holland didn't. This is not helping Holland at all. Portugal did not take the knee in the opening match. However, they didn't take the knee against Germany. Finally, interesting because they have a lot of black players on their team and they didn't take the knee. And Germany chose not to kneel against France. So, as it stands, it's only Belgium, the only non-British team to take the knee, to even announce their intentions of standing for solidarity, for social justice, and racial equity, is Belgium. The 11th team is going to win the Euro final over at London. London's Tomachev 29, Black is Tomachev 29. Who are we looking at? We're looking at Romelu Lukaku of Belgium. It's linked to Brexit. 161 days from the Brexit is the birthday, or is the day of the Euro final, I should say. Taking knee is Tomachev 73 and 28. Crown is Tomachev 73 and 28. It's knee and eye that has the same Tomachev. Kevin De Bruyne has come back. The Red Devils of Belgium can make it to London, England. I already talked about that. The amount of time from the day that George Floyd was murdered to July the 11th, 11-7, is 1 year, 1 month, and 7 days. The amount of time from George Floyd's death to the final is 59 weeks. You know what's interesting about that? London, England has Tomachev 59. The Red Devils has Tomachev of 59. It might be African American that has Tomachev 71, or it may be Negro that's got Tomachev 59. So interesting that Black in Spanish has Gematria of London. So we're going to see Black Lives Matter symbolism, not only Brexit symbolism, but Black Lives Matter symbolism. Euro 2020, racism have Gematria of 63 and 27. George has Gematria 57. The final is going to be held at England is Gematria 57. We can see a golden generation over at Wembley Stadium. It's Floyd that is Gematria of Devils. People are gonna wonder, is George Floyd gonna be represented by the Devils? A narrative for England? Though I see the golden generation taking shape. George Floyd, all-seeing eye, master plan after March of 119. It's divide and conquer. The cops in Minnesota were trained by Israeli intelligence. There is no real change to have real oversight over police departments. These kneeling happening over a year later. These corporations funding this to divide and conquer people. You have to wonder what the end game is if these same corporations and their politician puppeteers are not reforming police departments, are not weeding the white supremacists. Like, I demand more action, and we just have not seen it yet. George Floyd, all kneeler final. Gematria 65. Black Lives Matter, all kneel Euro final. George Perry Floyd Jr. has the gematria of masonry, of Zionism, of take the knee, divide and conquer the races around the world. That's what the Zionist cult is doing. Brexit, gematria 78 and 33. Chauvin, the cop that killed George Floyd, gematria 78, 33. Belgium, gematria 33. Masonry is gematria 33. And all kneeler final will be taking. It's kind of fitting that France haven't taken the knee. Do they just hate England? Do they not want to be like England? What is the agenda behind this? Well, gematria of George Floyd, England can't win all their matches to finish with 62 points. So out the door goes the Floyd angle for 62 points, because that's the gematria of capital, and that is the gematria of City of London. Same gematria as George Floyd. This is the 16th Euro. England has won 16 matches against Belgium. You know, George Floyd died at 46 years of age. If there's 4 draws and 6 losses, it sort of explains it. Also, 6 is the number of the devil. So if England loses to Romelu Lukaku, number 9, it'd be a fitting Black Lives Matter tribute, because the knee was on George Floyd close to 10 minutes. 9 minutes and 29 seconds. A little over 9 minutes that he was kneeing George Floyd. Which is interesting about Lukaku's number 9. Is that what is represented by George Floyd? That's something to ponder. George Floyd is an 8 life path, born on an 8 day. George Floyd was dead on a date of 5-7, because 25 is 7, so that's 5 and 7. That's gematria of Golden. That's gematria of England. That's gematria of Floyd. Now 7 and 5 is 12. 2 and 2 is 16-7. So George Floyd is a 16-7 life path, which is why the Euro, the 16th Euro, is gonna have a lot of Black Lives Matter symbolism. Now, this is why I thought I liked Belgium to win to be the 11th team to win the Euro. I like Belgium to be 1-1 in the final, because that's gematria black. I mean, the $20 bill, if you want to go with the $20 bill, that Belgian opponents are 2-0 against Belgium in the final, you could do that. But I like 11 the most as it relates to the sides, as to the 11th winner of the Euro final. I mean, is it going to be England? I mean, it'd be pretty fitting if the team that boos the kneelers is the team that's going to lose, because I haven't heard any reports about Belgian fans booing their players. It seems like Belgium is the team that is standing in solidarity against racism and against police brutality. It's also police that has gematria of 33. If you think about the Brexit symbolism, the European Union is supreme over the British? Or is it? Or is the Queen going to punish them? The Euro was supposed to be played 60 years later. There is definitely some symbolism being played out in this Euro final. 16-7. So do we see any sevens at all? We could see the 10th team lose the final. That can be England. I mean, 9 minutes and 30 seconds, that's a lot like 10. And then we can see the 11th winner in the final. So if George Floyd was down on a knee for close to 10 minutes, definitely after 9 minutes, is this Gematria Black going to pertain to losing the 11th match against Lukaku? Because if you look at Romelu Lukaku has Gematria of 77. 7 for 7 is what Belgium can be when they win the Euro competition. So 59 weeks in black and negro, and someone likes to type the N word in the gematria calculator. I won't tell you the names of those racists that do, other people that like to type that word out. That's not tolerated here. We're not gonna stand for racism like some of these gematria people like to do, typing the N word. It's just, there's no need for that. So let's put that to rest. But if you want to see Romelu Lukaku's gematria of 161, take a look at Brexit. Take a look at the amount of time from Brexit to the final is 161 days when you don't include the end. That's gematria of Romelu Lukaku. We know Belgium is going to be there. We know because that's gematria Romelu Lukaku. I mean, Lukaku saluted Christian Eriksen. Romelu Lukaku, this seems like it's his time. Black Lives Matter seems to be standing for Romelu Lukaku. England is white privilege. That's what England is. White. Gematria 29. White privilege. That's who England is. All Mueller affair not completely, close to being fully decoded. Again, I like Belgium to finish with 44 points if they can win all of their matches in regulation. 44 seems like the Black Lives Matter narrative. England's going to boo their players off the pitch. It's going to be scripted. It's going to be epic. I see the 11th win for Lukaku.